You guys, we have got to talk about Scooter Braun because people feel like he is totally gaslighting those online that have watched this recent podcast that he did where he is talking about the whole drama with Taylor Swift. And people are like, I don't think you're remembering things correctly, or at least you're trying to rewrite history. So we are going to get into what Scooter had to say and the history of what went down between him and Taylor. This week, Scooter Braun is facing tons of backlash after speaking out on his career as a whole, and specifically about the time he bought Big Machine and thought he was going to be friends with Taylor Swift. Yeah, that whole feud. People are not loving it. He's being accused of gaslighting the entire situation, and honestly, the backlash is growing all over again. So let's go back to how this all started because the history here is super important. In June of 2019, Scooter Braun's company, Ithaca Holdings, acquired Big Machine label group for around $300 million. Now, what's important here is that this included the master recordings of Taylor Swift's first 6 albums. We're talking about everything from her self-titled debut all the way through Reputation. And the gag is, Taylor said she found out about this the exact same day as the rest of us. No warning, no heads up, just boom, you wake up and someone who you've publicly accused of bullying you now owns your literal life's work. Now, after it was announced Scooter Braun's company, Ithaca Holding, had acquired Taylor's old record label, Big Machine, she posted on Tumblr this photo from Justin Bieber's Instagram that said, "This is Scooter Braun bullying me on social media when I was at my lowest point. He's about to own all the music I've ever made." And this is a post of Justin on FaceTime with Scooter and Kanye, who Scooter was managing at the time, and Justin's caption was, "Taylor Swift, what up?" She posted in the Tumblr post, "For years I asked, pleaded for a chance to own my work. Instead, I was given an opportunity to sign back up to Big Machine Records and earn one album back at a time, one for every new one I turned in. I walked away because I knew once I signed that contract, Scott Borchetta would sell the label, thereby selling me and my future. I had to make the excruciating choice to leave behind my past. Music I wrote on my bedroom floor and videos I dreamed up and paid for from the money I earned playing in bars, then clubs, then arenas, then stadiums." Some fun facts about today's news. I learned about Scooter Braun's purchase of my masters as it was announced to the world. All I could think about was the incessant manipulative bullying I've received at his hands for years, like when Kim Kardashian orchestrated an illegally recorded snippet of a phone call to be leaked and then Scooter got his 2 clients together to bully me online about it, see photo, or when his client Kanye West organized a revenge music video which strips my body naked. Now Scooter has stripped me of my life's work that I wasn't given an opportunity to buy. Essentially, my musical legacy is about to lie in the hands of someone who tried to dismantle it. This is my worst case scenario. This is what happens when you sign a deal at 15 to someone for whom the term loyalty is clearly just a contractual concept. And when that man says music has value, he means its value is beholden to men who had no part in creating it. When I left my masters in Scott's hands, I made peace with the fact that eventually he would sell them. Never in my worst nightmares did I imagine the buyer would be Scooter. Anytime Scott Borchetta has heard the word Scooter Braun escape my lips, it was when I was either crying or trying not to. He knew what he was doing. They both did. Controlling a woman who didn't want to be associated with them in perpetuity. That means forever. Thankfully, I am now signed to a label that believes I should own anything I create. Thankfully, I left my past in Scott's hands and not my future, and hopefully young artists or kids with musical dreams will read this and learn about how to better protect themselves in a negotiation. You deserve to own the art you make. I will always be proud of my past work, but for a healthier option, Lover will be out August 23rd. Sad and grossed out, Taylor." Taylor left Big Machine late 2018 after her 10-year contract expired and she signed a new record deal with Republic Records, an imprint of Universal Music Group. When she announced the new deal on Instagram, Taylor revealed that she would own the master recordings of all of her music going forward, but Big Machine would retain the rights to the masters for all 6 of her previous albums. And with this purchase, that meant Scooter would now profit from sales and use of Taylor's old music for the rest of forever, at least while he was going to own this. Now, at the time of the announcement, Scooter was bragging about this online. He reposted one of his friends saying, "When your friend buys Taylor Swift," at Scooter Braun. But he ended up deleting this after getting backlash after Taylor's Tumblr post. People reported on this, the fact that he deleted this, so this really did happen. online. But Justin Bieber tried to defend Scooter at the time. He posted this photo of him and Taylor on Instagram with the caption, "Hey Taylor, first of all, I would like to apologize for posting that hurtful Instagram post at the time. I thought it was funny, but looking back, it was distasteful and insensitive. I have to be honest though, it was my caption and post that I screenshotted of Scooter and Kanye that said, 'Taylor Swift, what up?' He didn't have anything to do with it, and it wasn't even a part of the conversation. In all actuality, he was the person who told me not to joke like that. Scooter has had your back since the days you graciously let me open up for you. As the years have passed, we haven't crossed paths and gotten to communicate our differences, hurts, or frustrations. So for you to take it to social media and get people to hate on Scooter isn't fair. What were you trying to accomplish by posting that blog? Seems to me like it was to get sympathy. You also knew that in posting that, your fans would go and bully Scooter. Anyway, one thing I know is both Scooter and I love you. I feel like the only way to resolve conflict is through communication. So banter back and forth online, I don't believe solves anything. I'm sure Scooter and I would love to talk to you and resolve any conflict, pain, or any feelings that need to be addressed. Neither Scooter or I have anything negative to say about you. We truly want the best for you. I usually don't rebuttal things like this, but when you try and deface someone I love's character, that's crossing a line." Then Scooter's wife at the time posted on Instagram calling Taylor's post a temper tantrum, and Big Machine and Scooter both claimed that Taylor had opportunities to buy her masters, and of course there was a ton of back and forth on what was actually said behind closed doors. In a statement to People, a rep for Taylor said that her father had chosen not to be involved in any shareholders' calls rather than sign an NDA, which meant he would have to withhold information from his daughter because people have said, well, didn't her dad get a heads up on this? He chose to not be part of these calls. People are also saying that Taylor had a heads up on the deal before the news broke and that Scott had texted her. Her team says that she had not read the text before seeing the news. And in an interview, she continued to say that she was just shocked that Scott had sold to Scooter because they had endless conversations about him, which I assume were obviously negative. So it was shocking to see that this was the guy he went with, but with $300 million in his face, this was just like all the reasons that he needed to say yes that she supposed. Now, this same year, Taylor spoke out that November to share that she was actually being blocked from performing her old songs. She wrote, "Don't know what else to do. Guys, it's been announced recently that the American Music Awards will be honoring me with the Artist of the Decade award at this year's ceremony. I've been planning to perform a melody of my hits throughout the decade on the show. Scott Borchetta and Scooter Braun have now said I'm not allowed to perform my old songs on television because they claim that would be re-recording my music before I'm allowed to next year. Additionally, and this isn't the way I had planned on telling you this news, Netflix has created a documentary about my life for the past few years. Scott and Scooter have declined the use of my older music or performance footage for this project, even though there is no mention of either of them or Big Machine Records anywhere in the film. Scott Borchetta told my team that they'll allow me to use my music only if I do these things. If I agree not to re-record copycat versions of my songs next year, which is something I'm both legally allowed to do and looking forward to, and also told my team that I need to stop talking about him and Scooter Braun. I feel very strongly that sharing what is happening to me could change the awareness level for other artists and potentially help them avoid a similar fate. The message being sent to me is very clear. Basically, be a good little girl and shut up, or you'll be punished. This is wrong. Neither of these men had a hand in the writing of those songs. They did nothing to create the relationship I have with my fans, so this is where I'm asking for your help. Please let Scott Borchetta and Scooter Braun know how you feel about this. Scooter also manages several artists who I really believe care about other artists and their work. Please ask them for help with this. I'm hoping that maybe they can talk some sense into the men who are exercising tyrannical control over someone who just wants to play the music she wrote. I'm especially asking for help from the Carlisle group who put up money for the sale of my music to these two men. I just want to be able to perform my own music. That's it. I've tried to work this out privately through my team, but have not been able to resolve anything. Right now, my performance at the AMAs, the Netflix documentary, and any other recorded events I am planning to play until November of 2020 are a question mark. I love you guys, and I thought you should know what's been going on. Taylor." As we all know, Taylor did go on to re-record some of her albums, and her re-recordings broke records. They were statements. They completely changed the conversation around artist ownership in the music industry, and she was able to do the Eras tour, and it was just such a moment for her. Scooter Braun's reputation took a massive hit from all of this as the Swifties band together to support Taylor, and he was just seen as this villain. Though artists at the time like Justin and Demi Lovato came to his defense and tried to call him a good guy, in the end, Scooter's reputation reputation just hasn't held up in the industry. There was definitely a noticeable shift in how people were treating him, and with many artists and collaborators slowly distancing themselves from him, it's definitely been different when it comes to when you hear about Scooter's name now. I mean, he once had these huge names on his client roster, but in the last few years, Demi parted ways from him, Ariana Grande parted ways from him, and Justin Bieber, which was huge. And now in 2025, Scooter is speaking out on his career and the past. Taylor has just recently announced that she was able to purchase her masters, and in a long post on her website, she said that this was all thanks to her fans and the Eras tour that gave her the ability to work with Shamrock Holdings and purchase her masters. And so I don't know, maybe Scooter thought that this was a good time for him to come out and speak out now that Taylor has been able to purchase her masters, and he wouldn't hear from the comment section too much about the whole situation. He talked about how he thought that when he originally purchased Big Machine, that he knew Taylor didn't like him, but he thought that they were going to be able to work together and be friends.
When I bought Big Machine, I thought I was going to work with all the artists on Big Machine. I thought it was going to be like an exciting thing. I knew that Taylor, she and I had only met 3 times. In between that time, since I'd seen her last, I started managing Kanye West. I managed Justin Bieber. I knew she didn't get along with them. I had a feeling, this is where my arrogance came in. I had a feeling she probably didn't like me because I managed them, but I thought that once this announcement happened, she would talk to me, see who I am, and we would work together. And the announcement came out, and I'm calling Scott Borchetta and saying, hey, send me her number. I just talked to Thomas Rhett, and he's excited. And I just talked to, this person, and they're excited. And I'm calling, Florida Georgia line next. And oh, I'm gonna get you. And then this Tumblr comes out and it says all this stuff, and I was just like shocked.
Fans have responded to this saying that he's trying to rewrite history and that he was bragging in posts like the one that we talked about, where he reposted his friend saying that he literally just bought Taylor Swift. He later went on to talk about feeling betrayed and misunderstood.
People always say stay on your side of the street. I try to do that. It's easier for me to move on with my life and be happy by staying on my side of the street. So yeah, I've definitely felt betrayed 100 times. I've definitely felt misunderstood so many times. But I also try to give empathy of, if someone is doing this to me, they must be hurting for some reason, and maybe I did play a role in it, even if I don't know I did. So do you feel betrayed? Yes.
People have reacted and said he tried to block Taylor from singing her own songs. Let's not rewrite history, you liar. He's gaslighting the public. He did Taylor wrong, and now he's crying about her reaction. He didn't feel betrayed with all that money in the bank from selling her life's work. Why is he not talking about the NDA he wanted her to sign? Oh, cry me a river. Scooter Braun is not a victim. This is so embarrassing for him. People are clearly not standing for what Scooter has to say in all of this. Just feeling like he is completely gaslighting the public, forgetting about all of the times that Taylor has spoken out about what was really going on behind the scenes, and he's over here like, I don't know, you guys, she just didn't like me and I thought we were gonna be friends, and that wasn't the case, and I got a lot of backlash and I got a lot of hate. So after seeing this, people haven't been feeling the most sympathetic, but I want to know what you guys think about all of this and some of what Scooter had to say and the reactions to it online. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.